Welcome to the PGA EuroPro Tour. We are the leading developmental golf tour in the world, and we are giving the hottest and brightest golfing prospects the chance to take their careers to the next level. We are in for a stupendous season. We're at the fabulous Brocket Hall, and it is my absolute pleasure to be joined by the EuroPro Tour's resident pro, Mr. John E. Morgan. John,
how you doing, Kit?
Welcome aboard.
Thank you, boss.
Pleasure to see you.
Yeah.
Just how excited are you for this 2019 season?
Well, over the moon, actually. Couldn't wait. I mean, it's been a long winter. I mean, the boys are probably itching to get going. I mean, the courses look magnificent for the season. So the boys are going to be getting some really good game under their belts, ready for, well, Q-School at the end of the year. You know, that's what they're all aiming for. But, you know, the weather, if we have a summer like last year, is going to be spectacular. So I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait.
You started off on the EuroPro Tour, made it to the PGA Tour and the European Tour. Just how well does this prepare our players for making those next steps in their career?
Well, it's massive because you come into the pro game totally, well, a novice really. You're starting all over again. You know, money in your back pocket. You got to start putting food on the table. You know, the amateur days are over, so you know it's a different kind of game plan that you got to really go into it. And the EuroPro, what it done for me is it made me realise a different kind of pressure that the game brings, especially with the TV cameras, you guys looking at home on me, you know, seeing what kind of shots I was playing and stuff, and seeing how I'd handle the pressure coming down the stretch, and also going up against players that I played with on the amateur scene, all of a sudden turning pro the same time as me, guys that had turned pro before me, you know, coming to a head to them, coming down the stretch and stuff, see what I got in the tank, you know, against these other players, and just feeding, getting so much more confidence out of the game, the pro game. And then obviously going on to the PGA Tour and European Tour, which I did in my rookie year. So, you know, I qualified for the EuroPro in the April, and then all of a sudden by December, late November, I had both my cards on both sides of the line, and you're there going, my God. So it can be done, and I think this is the best feeder tour ever you can ever imagine to get yourself and propel yourself to the bigger heights of the professional game. Thanks, John. Awesome stuff. This is what we've got coming up for you today. We take a look at the new rules. I catch up with Tour Chief Executive Dan Godding.
That's really what quite excites me by seeing these guys win the tournaments they're winning.
We highlight the key players to watch out for in the 29 season, and we take a closer look at the full 15 event schedule. All that still to come, but first up, I am joined by the main man on the PGA EuroPro Tour, Chief Executive Dan Godding. Dan, a pleasure. Just tell us what goes into putting this incredible tour together.
First of all, it's finding out the good venues. You know, Brocket Hall, which is where we're coming to first for the 2019 season. This has always been one of my favourites. There's two cracking golf courses here, cracking practice facilities. The entire venue is just perfect for running a tournament. So when I choose a venue over the course of a season, I like to give them the entire package where they can learn and practice pretty much any shot that they can possibly hit in the UK.
It's a really exciting schedule this year. Some new courses, of course, Brocket Hall, the picturesque Spey Valley up in Scotland. How important is it to get that variety of venues for our players?
Very, very much so. You know, Spey's a cracking golf course, and it's held the Challenge Tour for quite a while now as well. And we're quite lucky to be able to go there at the end of the Challenge Tour's contract. Having Mcdonald hotels on board is a great opportunity for us to take 4 of their absolute premier venues and to give the guys a great experience.
You've been the chief architect of this tour, going from strength to strength in recent years. Just how impressed have you been to witness how the players have reacted to that and how the scoring has improved in that time as well?
That's very kind of you to say, Kit, but I have very little to do with how well the chaps are performing on the European Tour, such as Aaron Rai, who has been an amazing player who's come through the stages through us, obviously through the Challenge Tour and on. It's all about making sure these guys are getting everything they possibly can to be able to grow and then go up onto the European Tour and perform. For me, it's making sure that I'm allowing these guys to learn. I'm giving them a platform where they can learn their careers and hone their games and become the great players that they are.
You're so passionate about the tour. You really invest yourself in the players that come through here. Just how satisfying is it to see guys like Aaron Rai, Jordan Smith, Marcus Armitage, Dan Gavins, the list goes on, getting to the European Tour and achieving when they get there?
You know what, Kit, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, just watching the Ryder Cup and seeing Tommy Fleetwood and Tyrrell Hatton playing, it's incredible. You know, we've always had players that have gone up through the ranks, but now we're having a lot of players that are staying there, that are performing well, and you have to really say, well, where were you just slightly before you were on the EuroPro? So the EuroPro must have played a massive role in helping those guys hone their games, and that's really, I suppose inwardly, that's really what quite excites me by seeing these guys win the tournaments they're winning.
What would you say to players that are considering whether or not they should have a go at the EuroPro Tour this season?
Why not, Kit? Why not? If this is your career, why not go for it? If you're 16 years old, if you're 40 years old, if you want a chance, if you want to go for it, then why not come onto the EuroPro? You're going to play some great golf courses, you're going to get media experience, and at the same time you can win some money. You know, that's the trick. We've all got to live, we've all got to pay our mortgages. You can win some money, so why not come out here and why not perform, and why not see if you're good enough? That's the question, isn't it, really, at the end of the day?
Wonderful stuff, Dan. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
While we're here at the sumptuous Brocket Hall, let's take the chance to find out a little bit more about our first venue of the season.
Brocket Hall there's been a house, if you like, on the site here since 1239. He built the first golf course, which was designed by Peter Allis in 1991, and that's known as the Melbourne course. The second golf course, which was designed by Donald Steele and Mark Ebert, was opened fully in 2000. So that's through the woodland. That's the Palmerston course. So a lot of golf-focused stuff on the estate. Then we have the Auberge de Lac, which is a public restaurant, and the hall itself, which runs conferences and parties, weddings at the moment. We're very excited to have EuroPro come to Brocket Hall because for us it's putting the estate back on the map, the golf club on the map under its new guise as the Melbourne Club. After probably a few years of being a little bit low profile in terms of the golfing world. The practice facilities at Brocket have been, and I still believe they are still, some of the best in the southeast of England. They're extremely good, they're well maintained. The course, the Palmerston course, which the event will take place on, hasn't hosted a tour event of any sort before. Has had some special players on it. People like Tiger Woods have played on it. The members prefer it to our other course, in fact. The club at Brocket Hall now is the Melbourne Club, an all-inclusive club that encourages golf at all levels: junior golf, senior golf, disabled golf, as well as more traditional men and ladies golf. So for us, it's a chance to showcase the property and to allow people to see what is here, as well as to get the word out to people who haven't heard about Brocket for a long time.
Welcome back to the PGA EuroPro Tour preview show. Now, our very own Johnny Morgan has set himself a very special mission for the 2019 season. Let's find out exactly what he's trying to achieve.
Well, yeah, tall order, I know, and it's a dream kind of scenario I'm chasing, really, and it's one I've missed out on, and that's Open qualifying. I'm going for Portrush this year. It's been one of those dreams. I've missed out quite a few times to play in a major, never done it, never got to go. Obviously John Deere, when I came, agonisingly close there to winning it, that was my ticket to get in the Open. I had to go into a 5-man playoff around Congressional, went down the first extra hole with like the likes of Lucas Glover and co, all of us going down there, and I had a 4-footer for it and a horseshoe that came right back at me. And yeah, I haven't been close since. So yeah, that was painful. Talking a good game about the game of golf and watching all these guys play definitely gives you the bug. I mean, I'm only going to do it once, and I'm going to try and put a card in my hand for the first time in a long time, which is probably going to be the hardest thing, I would say, that I'm going to have to deal with, the pressures of having a card again, every shot having to count, where, you know, I've been able to play kind of willy-nilly, you know, playing with friends, and especially with you guys, it's always a good bit of banter, but now it's serious. To know that you got to go low no matter what, I'm going to have to try and feel relaxed as I possibly can, more relaxed than normally. I normally get very uptight, always been my downfall if I'm totally honest. The game now is colossal. I mean, we're seeing everyone in that top 25 are absolute monsters off the tee. You know, they're bombing it, they're carrying it probably 10, 15 yards further than I am. My game in general, short game will come back, but that is the hardest part of anything, I think, is short game. You know, if you neglect that, it's the hardest thing you got to try and fight for to get it back, and that's many hours of dedication. You know, all my mates were on the range beating balls and hundreds of balls, and I wasn't like that. I was a man that I'd stay around that chipping green, I'd stay within that 100-yard zone, and it wedges for fun. Chipping wise is definitely the key in any game now, because the courses are so tough. I was always someone that liked to have a social tipple with my friends. That's kind of stopped. I would say I'd probably do that, wait until Friday or Saturday or Sunday maybe. I'm saying 3 days now, and whoops. But you know what I mean, I meet raffles on a Sunday, so that's my that's the only reason I go up there. But I would say there's a lot of boxes not yet ticked. I think my dream would be just to play. I'd be fixated on that. I'd be quite happy to walk away from the game once I'd done that. I don't need to have my card back and play on the European Tour, the PGA Tour ever again. But if I played the Open, and say I had a good finish in the Open, who knows what would happen. But it's going to be a one-off, give it a go, and hopefully I get in the zone quick. I think the whole of Somerset would come out and watch me, and especially Bristol, all my Bristolians that I know. You know, the Southwest has been a big influence for me, and you know, the links golf courses that I've played, Burnham and Borough, just down the road, really good links golf course. Then you go over the water and you got like Porthcawl and Sandown and stuff, and then you go further south and you get Westward Ho, Saunton and Ennadoc and Trevose. I mean, the list goes on, and I've played some great links, so Portrush is a must for me. You know, it's going to be amazing. It would be a dream come true, and I think it'd be a nice following.
So some exciting and emotional stuff from our resident pro, John, there, and he's joined me now to discuss the rules. A lot of big changes coming into effect for this 2019 season. First up, John, on the greens, the two big ones there, leaving the pin in for putting and being able to repair any pitch marks, any blemishes at all on the greens. How do you see that affecting golf this year?
Well, we've already seen it through the course of the start, you know, over in you know, the Far East. We've seen Bryson DeChambeau win, and we've seen him putting with the flag in pretty much constantly. You know, it gets to within about 10 foot and then he's finally, you know, pulling the flag out, and it's been working. Then the one that has been on the cards for God knows how many years now, the spike marks and everything, that's now you're able to tap them down. Obviously you don't want to get too carried away with this tapping down. It's nice to see that rule come into effect now. Another
big rule change is the reduction in the search time for a lost ball from 5 down to 3 minutes. Do you think that will make much of a difference to pace of play?
I don't think in a pro game it will, to a degree. I think for us mere mortals that you know members of golf clubs and play a casual round with our friends, yes, massively. Pace of play definitely going to heighten. You know, you're not going to be dwelling thinking, oh come on, 5 minutes, you know, you're hunting. I think, you know, after 3 minutes, if you haven't found it, you're not going to find it anyway, are you? Be honest, you know, you pretty much know where that ball's gone. So I think it's a really good pace of play idea. 5 minutes reduced to 3, brilliant.
Dropping rules have changed as well, whereas it was shoulder height, now knee height.
Yeah, I mean, interesting one, isn't it, Kit? But I mean, I don't see it's going to make much of a difference to me. I mean, you used to have it over your shoulder, old school. Then it was that. I mean, knee. You know, all I can think of, if you're dropping it on a soft surface, it might not embed itself that much. Yeah, but that's as far as it'll go with me. And maybe it'll land softer, it won't roll so much. I think that's the other beneficials of it, which, you know, all of a sudden I think, you know, you drop it 2 times and you place it, you know, where it last dropped. You know, that's the normal rule. Maybe it might just hold. We never know, but time will tell.
And another one that has, of course, grabbed lots of headlines and not all positive has been the caddy lining up. Originally designed to stop what was happening a lot really in the ladies' game, more so the men's. But for you, do you think that's a fair rule? Are you liking what you're seeing from it and the original theory behind it?
I think it's a fair rule. I do. I think the committee's got it right. There was a lot of dwelling over shots, second guessing, you know, caddies coming in, doing a great job as they always do, but asking too much to the player, asking too much, getting too much involved and debating so much, and that's time wasting as well. You know, we've seen a lot of it, so I think actually being behind the player, it's not really creating anything. The player's left to his own devices now, get out of the way. I mean, it's a bit of a habit thing. I mean, I think players and caddies as well will definitely make sure it ain't going to happen to them.
Yeah, I think we're going to see that all ironed out so everyone knows where they stand, certainly before our season begins. I think by and large the new rules have gone down pretty well. It's going to be interesting to see how our players here on the EuroPro Tour adapt to those. Also this season we've got an exciting new partnership with McDonald's hotels. 4 of our regular season events will take place at their properties, so let's find out some more about that.
The relationship between sort of Mcdonald Hotels and the EuroPro sort of first came about through Dan Godding, who we've had a long-standing relationship with for a number of years, and it was always of interest for us to look at sort of introducing the EuroPro tournaments into our sort of schedule, and it just so happened we had a very impromptu meeting last year. Dan presented us with an excellent opportunity, one of which we were very, very keen to sort of progress. We're hosting 4 events this year, the first one being at Mcdonald Linden Hall up in Northumberland. Jonathan Gaunt designed golf course, parkland, bit of water, excellent test of golf, just over 7,000 yards. The players are going to have their work cut out right round there. Next, they're up in Spey Valley, up in Aviemore. We've hosted the European Challenge Tour event up there for the last 10 years, so that probably speaks for itself in terms of the quality of that venue. And then we've got a couple of events at Portal, Mcdonald Portal in Chester, and also Mcdonald Hill Valley in Shropshire. Again, both championship golf courses, over 7,000 yards, tree lined, so they again undulated Mackenzie greens, in particular at Portal. So the guys have got their work cut out to be. Yeah, it's going to be an excellent challenge for them. I'm very familiar with the EuroPro Tour. Number one, being a fan of the show myself, I do like to watch it. Again, it's I've got a few sort of pro friends whose sons are actually playing and participating in it, so I've got a bit of an emotional connection from that point. But again, from being a host venue, it's brilliant for us. Again, we get some excellent exposure, and it's one of which we're very, very privileged to be part of, to actually grow and help and develop the game of golf and the next sort of future stars for European golf. With us hosting the four events, again, we've created the McDonald series within the overall sort of order of merit, and the winner of that will get a nice family holiday down to one of the resorts in the Costa del Sol in Spain. So a nice little sort of carrot to sort of dangle for the guys sort of playing in those events. We don't see this partnership being a one-hit wonder. Again, we're very sort of committed, as mentioned previously, about growing the game. So we will look to replicate it definitely next year and for many years to come. We hopefully add an extra few events into it. You never know, we might get them down to a few of our overseas venues as well.
We've had a look at the venues, now it's time to look at some of the players. Now John and I, we're going to look into our crystal balls and we're going to pick out who we think we should be keeping an eye on this year. We've got 3 categories: a young gun, the Mark Young Award for the guy that's just going to break through, who's already been on the tour for a while, and we get a wild card each as well. So let's start with the young guns. John, who are you picking?
Well, first of all, I've had a good long hard think about this. I'm going Richard Mansell. Young player coming through, had a nice season last year. He could have done a lot better as well, and I think we could see a nice season from him. I'm
going to go for Marco Penge. I played with him in a Pro-Am last year, was really impressed by what I saw. He absolutely bombs it. He's a confident guy. Last year, solid season, just bedded in, and I think he'll benefit, and we'll see him in the second year kick on. So I'm expecting big things from both of those, to be honest. I think you're spot on with your pick as well. So now the Mark Young Award. I know you loved what Mark did last year. Yeah. Who do you think we could see take their game to the next level this year?
Well, a man who works really hard in the gym and one of the best strikers you'll see out on the EuroPro Tour. No one else apart from James Fraser. Mountain of a man, top Welshman, and I tell you what, absolutely stripes it. And I think it's just a time for him. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few wins under his belt during the course of the year.
I think I'm going to chuck in Conor O'Neill's name. He tends to show up in 2 or 3 events a year and be quite quiet apart from that. But he has started his season out in the Middle East in fantastic form though. 2 top 3s, confidence is flowing, and I think he will carry that into this season and benefit from making a fast start by playing some golf overseas in the spring as well.
Well said, Kit. He's a top player.
Absolutely. Finally, the wild card, so we can pick anyone. No limits. You've got one more to complete your trio to hang your hat on for this year.
He's a member here at Brocket Hall. Scott Fallon. Now, Scott obviously missed out that top 5 by £700. That's painful. Good player. He knows he can do it. I think that is definitely the biggest battle. 90% is, 99% is between your ears. That's for sure. Now he knows he's been that close. He can finally get over that line. And fair crack of the whip there. If he plays all the tournaments, I don't see him being outside that top 5.
Okay. I'm going for a combination of my head and my heart here. And I'm going for Billy Hemstock.
Oh yeah. Well,
so often the nearly man, 7th on the order of merit twice, 14th last year, a 4-time EuroPro Tour winner. There is no questioning the guy's pedigree. Yeah. Maybe he just needs a little bit of luck to put it all together in one season and get in that top 5 and kick on. But I would love to see him do it, and I think he has got the game.
Billy is a hell of a talent. Hopefully those demons don't come up.
So much talent and depth on the tour this year, and as ever, no doubt players that we aren't aware of at this stage will come through and challenge as well. So that is the players. Now let's take a look at the full schedule and the 15 regular season events that stand between them and the step up to the Challenge Tour. The first event of the season, the Matchroom Sport Championship at the Melbourne Club at Brocket Hall, the IFX Payments and Fort Financial Champions at Harleyford, the World Snooker Championship at Donington Grove, the Cumberwell Park Championship, the South Coast Web Championship from Dudsbury. The tour then moves to Mcdonald Linden Hall Golf and Country Club, followed by Mcdonald Portal Hotel Golf and Spa, the Eagle Orchid Scottish Masters from Spey Valley, the Penta Hotels Championship at Caversham Heath, the Nokia Masters at Mannings Heath Golf Club, the HotelPlanner.com Championship from Thrillford Heath's Blue Course. Then it's Mcdonald Hill Valley Hotel Golf and Spa, the Irish Masters at Tulfaris, the PDC Championship from Studley Wood, and finally the Newmarket Golf Club Challenge. All those amazing venues on the horizon. John, are you looking forward to it?
I can't wait, Kit. I mean, PGA EuroPro Tour always brings up a load of surprises. Great golf. Bring it on, bud.
Absolutely, and if you want to be here with us as a player, you can still enter Q School right up until 3 p.m. on March the 20th. And even if you're not playing, make sure you join us as a viewer throughout the summer. We can't wait to see you again then.